Welcome to Spa Life TV. This is day 2 where we are going to talk about health, like real stuff. And yesterday we talked about gut health, but today we're going to talk about something so exciting. I'm going to introduce you to a whole new organ, and we call it fascia. Now, we've always known about fascia, but we thought it was just a connective tissue. We had no idea how important it was, and I'm calling it another organ, another system, because it's that important. I've been a massage therapist since 1990, and I remember we learned about the muscles and bones and the joints. But there was this other thing that we couldn't quite put words to. So we just called it knots. And within the knots were toxins. So when you would massage somebody, you would find like a knot, but I would be like, it doesn't run the way that a muscle runs. And it's not a bone because there's no bones there. Is this just a knot? And you would work it and you put pressure and heat and massage it. And sometimes you could release it right there. Other times it took an extended amount of time to reconstruct that tissue that we called a knot. Now, today we know that it's fascia. Fascia is so cool and so important. And before we can get into different exercises to do for fascia or how fascia plays a role in your ability to be pain-free, balance your hormones, think clearly, the ability to age gracefully and feel good, have healthy hair and mental clarity. Before we talk about all those things, it's important we understand what fascia is and what is required for healthy fascia. So, number one, fascia is a connective web. So think of fascia as one sheet from your head to your toe, like a web. And it literally encases and covers every nerve fiber, every muscle fiber, every organ, every tissue. It is everywhere. And this connective web holds you in place. So as gravity and the pressure of gravity pushes against your body, it is actually your fascia that holds you upright, that allows you to move in space against gravity. That's your fascia. And it covers every aspect, including your organs. It literally, it's just amazing. Okay, number 2, what is fascia? The second thing that fascia is, so it's a connective web. The second thing that fascia is a collagen network, meaning inside the fascia, there are these collagen proteins. These proteins actually hold your memory. Fascia holds memory. It has more nerve endings than your brain and your spinal cord. Isn't that crazy? So you see why it's a communication network? Because really, it's responding to your thoughts, your words, how you feel, what you see, what you taste, what you smell, all your senses, all your 5 senses coming from the environment coming in is being communicated within the fascia. And when you have an experience, it creates a protein code within the collagen of your fascia. That's why, well, have you ever gone into a room and you heard a song and all of a sudden, maybe you get butterflies in your stomach or you get sweaty or your muscles tighten up? It's like, it was just a song. Why did it do that? Because your fascia has a memory and that's stored in the collagen. And so when you hear that song, you don't have to hear it and then process it in your brain. You hear it and your body responds to what you heard in the fascia. And your collagen has a program for maybe a traumatic experience or a good experience. Because sometimes, we hear a song and it brings us back to a lovely memory. It doesn't always have to be a traumatic memory. But trauma, difficult experiences are held in your fascia. And that's why traumas can make you sick. Memories, things that you're holding, you might say, I had a bad experience. I forgave that person. I let it go. But did you release it from your fascia? Because it's still encoded in your collagen network. Guess my light went off. It's still encoded in that collagen network. The third thing that fascia is, it is a living membrane. Now, back in the day, we used to think that fascia was just connective tissue. It was like saran wrap. Today, We know it is alive, it is living, and now we know it has a memory. It's conductive, it's electrical, it's chemical, and it does all those different things, and it has a life force, like literally an electrical life force. And the reason we didn't know this before is because they would study cadavers and they'd see the fascia, but it was just like a encasing. So they would just move it away and study the muscles and study everything that they could see. They couldn't see the life force because fascia is a living membrane. Today, because of technology, we're able to study more and we can see that fascia isn't just a flat connective tissue. Oh no, it has a movement within the fascia, and that's the living membrane. It has a life force. And it responds to light and sound and acoustics and vibration and thoughts. All of that affects that life force. And then the fourth thing that fascia is a fluid highway. So within those microtubules of fascia is a very special ground substance. It's a very special liquid. And that liquid can literally change structure. If it's tense and afraid of, if it's taking in danger, it can get stiff. If it's taking in safety, it gets fluid. So fascia responds to how your nervous system responds to the external environment or what your thoughts are. And it can move nutrients, it can export toxins. So it's a fluid highway. It's incredible. And that's what we talk about. Hydration within the fascia is different than what we think it is, just drinking water. No, it's how that water responds and moves and changes shape. Very cool, right? So that's what fascia is. And what fascia requires are four other things. Number one, it requires hydration. So when I say hydration, yes, of course, water. Yes. But how that water is used is determined by your minerals, your movement, your thoughts. So you might be drinking water, but how the body uses it, again, depends on, do you have the other raw materials, like minerals especially? Minerals are so important to be able to utilize that hydration. The second thing fascia needs is movement, which is why you find me on the rebounder right here, because movement, honestly, movement of any kind. A lot of people think exercise has to be this one way or their way, this one specific way. That isn't true. Fascia just likes movement. Fascia likes movement in a safe environment. Fascia likes movement when you're enjoying yourself. Fascia likes movement when it's flow, so dancing, rebounding, vibration plate, walking. Fascia loves that you feel safe. And when you feel safe, then fascia can relax. And movement is how you keep your fascia flowing. Keep your fascia in good flow requires movement of any kind, really. Ideally, it likes slow and steady, but it just loves to move in a safe environment. The third thing that it needs is electrical integrity. And here's a weird one, right? Like, what do you mean electrical integrity? Well, everything affects fascia. So if you have your cell phone, around your body, then it's like it creates static within the fascia. Um, if you are near a lot of cell towers or there's a lot of EMS, it creates a lot of static. So what do? We go out and we walk on the grass. We ground. And when you ground, you're bringing the earth's electrical um, elect- electricity into your body, which resets the electrical integrity of your fascia. Isn't that cool? How else do you impact your electrical integrity? With your thoughts? Are you thinking negative thoughts or are you thinking happy thoughts? Are you making life so tense and serious or are you letting things go? Are you taking a day off to relax? Are you having fun? Are you laughing? Are you playing? That's what fascia likes. That maintains its electrical integrity. And that's what fascia requires um, to be healthy. It requires that electrical integrity. And the last one, number four, emotional release. This one is really hard to comprehend, hard to understand, and quite honestly, it's the hardest to do because you think you're good, and you think that this pain in your hip or pain in your shoulder is just, it's just something you're dealing with, but you're fine. Life's fine. You're good. You let go of old things, but you might have let go in your mind, but it's still stuck in your tissue. So you can get massage, you can do fascial maneuvers, fascial releasing exercises, you can use massage tools, um, myofascial release, you can rebound, that really helps. You can dry skin brushing, kind of releasing that area. So really noticing that area, meditation can help release that area. Either way, you need to find where that stiffness is and recognize that there is something being held there. There's an adhesion or some sort of blockage. And oftentimes that's an emotional collagen, um, collection in that spot that needs to be released. Emotional release is so important. You can use flotation. They have those float tanks, and just really think about releasing that area. So there's lots of things you can do, but if you have, this isn't to take away from real deep emotional release work, which is so important, but even if you do emotional release work, you have to remember it still could be stuck in your fascia. So if you are feeling tension, then that's something you really want to work on, emotional releasing in those areas and breaking up those adhesions, really. So those are the four things that fascia is and the four things that fascia requires. And so what can you do today? You can rebound. And you know what? You don't even need a rebounder. Honestly, fascia loves bounce. So you just bounce in place. You can just move your body in place. And when you're doing that, just keep in mind, yes, does it move your fascia? I mean, your lymphatic system? Yes, but you're also moving your fascia. And fascia is one of the most important things in your body. Part of me wants to say is the most important, but it's right there with the gut and the nervous system. So anyways, if you just bounce in place, move your fascia, swing your arms, just try to do the things you did as a child. Look how a child moves. Watch a child. A child will not think about it, just moves in flow. We as adults need to train our body to do that again. When you have that fluid motion in your body, that means your fascia is in flow. And when your fascia is in flow, it's not about just joints and muscles and bones. When your fascia is in flow, your digestive system works better. Your hormones are more balanced. You think clearer. Why? Because fascia covers every fiber, every nerve. So imagine if you have a nerve that's running to your brain or an organ. How about your gut? Imagine when you get tense or you're in fear or you're angry. The fascia around your gut tightens up. The liquid changes structure because it feels like it's in danger, so it tightens. And then it constricts and it affects your ability to digest well. So you see, fascia is so important to keep healthy and in flow. So that was Tuesday. Tuesday was all about fascia, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you on the next video.